a lot of shakeup with media. We had a lot of shakeup with media yesterday. A lot of shakeup, and we do talk media time and time in this podcast, whether it's sports media or political or whatever it may be.
We're just
Tucker
nerds.
Carlson has parted ways with Fox News. Let's start there.
I mean, I haven't like gone down the rabbit hole of why. I'm not sad to see him go, but I'm also not unrealistic.
So you are aware of the Dominion lawsuit that got settled last week?
Oh yeah, no, Dominion was what, 787. That was the settlement for Fox. But and the shit there was that they don't have to apologize or acknowledge. So it's like, yeah, they paid the check, but like their viewers are never gonna know really anything about it but it seems like it tees them up for the what's the Smartmatic one that they're seeking like 2.6 billion.
And they're not interested in selling.
Yeah, I guess was it like the Fox slander, I guess by now it's kind of safe to say, was like tanked the company pretty much entirely, or at least the American part of it, and then Smartmatic, I guess, is doing better or something.
Yeah, I don't know details on that one though.
Okay, I'm repeating what I literally heard on another podcast.
Right. No, that's fine. No, but from what I'm hearing, they're playing a long game. They're not looking to settle, at least right now. I mean, things are changing down the road. But I mean, go ahead.
The interest of the health of the democracy and everything, they should have to acknowledge on their air exactly what they did, the lies that they perpetuated. That those should be conditions of even the settlement. I think. I don't know.
That were provable.
That's what I want to see. Like when you talk about like the Aaron Sorkin of it all, like for what it should be.
Like I don't look. I don't know who loses here. Carlson losing his job at Fox or Fox himself, because I think Tucker Carlson will be fine. I think he's in a place now where he's bigger. He's bigger than the name itself.
The fragments of and the tendencies of the far right and Fox News viewers. Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Like, are people really that riled up and they're going to follow him wherever he goes? I imagine somebody is about to pay him a shit ton of money from some network. Whether it's to do something with what is his online site, like Daily Caller or something.
Yeah, he does own that. He could double down on that. He can do his own thing. I mean, his name's big enough now to where he can do that.
Yeah, I don't know how reliable it was, but one of the things I saw on Instagram when I was doom scrolling was that apparently some Russian state media extended an offer to him. Oh, okay.
RT. Yeah.
RT did. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. RT did. I know Daily Wire reached out to him. I know. I think Newsmax also. The usual cast of characters on that side of the aisle. But Tucker Carlson is so big at this point now, where he became bigger than the network anyway. So
I mean, yeah. I guess.
I'm gonna hate him. It's what it is.
It depends on what you want and what you're trying to achieve. It's like, I mean, their text messages kind of say everything. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah. They know they're lying to the American people, and they're doing it to make money because a certain group of people will buy it hook, line, and sinker, and then they will buy the products of their advertisers, and everybody gets rich. And nobody gives a shit what it does to the health of our democracy or the, acceptance or grip on reality of their viewers. They're just going to extract every dollar and ounce from them they can, do whatever they have to do to keep them tuned in. Tell them whatever they want to hear to keep them tuned in. I mean, you can see it. It's how it manifests. It manifests in, for example, the shooting of like Ralph Yarl.
Yeah.
Scared old man, Fox News viewer, your right-wing media consumer, sees a black teenager at his door and shoots without warning or saying anything and you can't disconnect, the boogeyman shit that these people put out. And then these folks consume it for hours a day and wonder and then go, oh my, can't be the guns, can't be the propaganda. No, it isn't that. Mental health. Oh, but we're not funding that.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that one. But I think he'll be fine. I think whatever he does, he'll be fine. You'll land on his feet.
Yeah.
I am. I think
He's
Fox.
going to continue. He's going to continue to make a lot of money unless he ends up in jail.
Right, and I think Fox will be fine too, also, because look, Fox lost Bill O'Reilly 2017. They filled that spot with Tucker before Bill O'Reilly was somebody else. It was Glenn Beck, and
As
they
long
filled that
as
spot up.
as long as they find people who look and sound the right way and tell the audience what they want to hear, because I mean, look, again, right there in their text messages, there was one of the things I heard on one of the like really gritty, granular, nerdy political podcasts I listened to
Which
was
one is that?
explaining. It was just buy less coffee with the guy Troy. I can't think of his last name, but
Oh,
his
okay.
thing is keep Troy blue. And then I think, oh God, okay, I don't know how I'm remembering this, but like my audio memory is just like that.
Yeah.
The woman, his co-host is Kathy Cannon at Cannon Fodder,
Okay.
and then their like producer assistant Irene, and the show's really funny. It's really straight to the point. Kathy's a teacher, and I think Troy was a teacher.
Yeah.
And they break down political shit. Like they do stuff one day that's kind of like all the headlines, and then the other day is like a deep dive into some topic that is maybe historical but has context. Anyway, they were talking about the text messages, and it was that basically there was an instance where I don't know, it was either I think it was acknowledging the call and calling it for Biden. Tucker Carlson cited that to a group chat with like all the right wing Avengers to their group
Right wing
chat or
Avengers.
you know
Is that what
all
you
of them.
called it, or that they called it? That was good.
No, that's just what I'm not going to sit here and try to remember all their names, so I'm just labeling them.
No, I like that. That's actually really.
No, but anyway,
That's
it
great.
was like in the group chat, Tucker Carlson cited how, well, when you called it accurately, but they didn't like it, they switched the channel to OAN and Newsmax like that.
Yeah.
And then he was reminding them that and suggesting they don't do that anymore. So literally saying, give them the facts they want, or they're going to go somewhere else, and that person might eat into our market cap, and we make this much less money.
Quick sidebar though. You mentioned political podcast. What shows are you into these days?
I have had very little time for shows in general.
Well, right, but in general, like what general?
I just finished Mandalorian, and I don't understand
No,
what all
no,
the hate.
no, not TV shows, political podcasts. I'm going to say. Sorry about that.
Podcast. Okay, sorry. I thought you were asking me
That's
what
my
I was
bad.
watching.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
I thought we were changing directions in my.
No, not too soon for that. No, too soon for that stuff, man. We gotta get to the nitty gritty.
Okay, so the big ones I listen to are Higher Learning with Van Lathan
Yeah, I
and
like
Rick
that show a lot.
Lindsay. That's a great one.
And I credit you for that. For get me to listen to it all the time now.
Dude, it's great. It's an amazing pod. Behind the Bastards. That's probably the one I listen to the most. With Robert Evans.
Yeah.
Hood Politics with Prop.
Okay.
Then I have like some true crime ones that are gnarly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Because I've kind of come out of the partisan thing now. I'm listening to more like Breaking Points, and then like with Crystal and Sagar, and then I'm The Rising with with Robbie and Brianna.
Anything I listen to news related, I got tired of even even as I became kind of more left in my leanings. I kind of got tired of stuff like some of the more mainstream liberal podcasts and stuff. Those kinds of things.
Yeah, I'm
and I started moving towards, because those felt more entertainment based, more message driven, more kind of tied to politicians sometimes, and certain like big media.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so I got more into these tiny little shops and shows on Spotify that are it's professors, journalists, lawyers talking about pretty much just the historical facts.
There's real conversations having on those shows too. Also,
yeah,
that's why
it's like it's acknowledging what's being said and done on the right, and talking about what the viewpoint is on the left, but really diving into the historical context and the facts of what's happening in It's really so. The adage in the newsroom of like what they were trying to do is like, we can't make Americans eat their vegetables. This is like the eating your vegetables of
That's
political
a good
pods.
point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
You're
point.
not going there to get like rah shit one way or the other. Like, you're just gonna get what's happening, and it's probably gonna put a lot of people to sleep. No, I'm kidding. These shows are incredibly entertaining, but it's definitely for a person who wants a certain kind of knowledge.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
It,
Yeah, even like cause there are like some conservative like leaning shows I'll listen to. That are I consider good faith shows. There's
mm-hmm.
and there's certain liberal ones I listen to also. But overall, I think Breaking Points is perfect because it's a conservative, it's a liberal, and they have good discussions about things, and they very critical
Yeah.
of both sides and all that. Same with Rising and all that. But yeah, that's where I'm at these days with political podcasts. Cause I mean, I don't mind the pod save guys, but they can get a little bit too
You said it, not me. I didn't mention it.
What, are you off that wagon too?
No, yeah, it's not like an intentional thing. I got really. It's more that my time is limited. My time
Yeah,
is even more limited now. It's not like I don't like it. I do actually very much, and I love love it to leave it every once in a while because I
he's
love.
funny as hell though.
He's fucking hilarious. John's
Yeah,
great, but for the news, law, historical context, I want something that is um definitely incorporating a lot more black and brown perspectives
yeah.
and trying to look at the world through the scope of sort of the truth of what's happened to the global majority.
I love how people think
So
like talking about black matters is somehow a liberal talking point, which is complete bullshit.
it's not about that. It's like no matter how you slice it, no matter how badly you don't want to look at it, like white supremacy and capitalism and stuff work in concert, and the United States is leaning as a country very far to the right. In
You think so?
Europe, absolutely. In Europe, our most quote unquote like extreme left politicians would be right in the middle in like the EU and in British Parliament, stuff like that. America is being pulled to the right because the right wing and the moneyed interests kind of go hand in hand for the most part. I mean, they all do. That's not, I'm not pretending like all politicians aren't, like politics aren't completely co-opted by moneyed interests, but it's just like the country. I think that our national discussion keeps getting pulled further and further right because in a lot of ways our systems don't punish white supremacy.
Well, we'll get
So
to
like they
yeah.
act up more, they corrupt more, they and the left wing is so co-opted that they're not really trying very hard to stop it
They just
because
want
they're all
status.
on.
They just want status
It's
quo.
like
Status
you
quo.
really need to stop that. I'm
Like
telling you.
they
Come on, history.
right. They care.
But like
For example, they care about abortion rights, but they do, but they don't. Like
they don't act.
they do this enough just to
Yeah,
prevent the
there hasn't.
entire backlash, but not enough to
No,
push real change. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
it's at and there's a lot of individual politicians. Whether obviously it's very important to the work HAC does to work with a lot of really wonderful politicians and
Yeah.
assemblymen, state senator. The work that HAC does with with elected leaders is second to none. But in the collective, it's the laws just aren't getting passed. Like the results aren't there, and that doesn't mean that we aren't all in agreement about what it should be or shouldn't be. That there aren't people speaking to those things in the legislatures and in Congress, but the proof is in the pudding, and the bowl is empty.
Yeah.
Because all these bills that could bring about improvements in housing, healthcare, food security, education, all of it, they stagnate in Congress and they stagnate in state houses and they die in Republican legislatures in red states. And when you look at the life expectancy of Americans and the concentration of, for example, Black and Brown Americans in some of those states, it's markedly less than in other states. And that's not about politics or anything. It's about allocation of resources. And some of these, individual corruptions and injustices that overwhelmingly impact Black and brown people at higher rates. Like it's where it's happening. But I mean, it's everywhere, but it's like much more punctuated in a lot of those places.
No, of course, no, I'm with you on that one.
The bills just aren't getting passed, signed, and enforced. The money's not getting spent on it.
The other big media mogul that got the axe yesterday was Mr. Don Lemon.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all. But
you didn't?
I mean, I honestly don't. I don't ever really watch Don Lemon except when there's some viral moment where he gathers someone or gets in trouble. So I don't really follow him. You know what I mean?
I don't follow him. It comes to my face.
I'll see a reel of him, like embarrassing somebody who's being a fucking ass on the show.
Yeah.
And I'll laugh and then I'll double tap and move on and not really ever think about it again, because if I'm watching news at that time for some reason on TV, I'm going to be watching probably another channel.
So let me ask you this. I mean,
but I haven't. I actually haven't. I don't think I've watched TV
before I dive in my opinion on Don Lemon, which I have done it in the past, though. What's your opinion on Don Lemon? Were you a fan of his, or? Eh?
I think I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. I think I've seen really funny videos or poignant moments, on TV, but I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know why people would have reason to dislike. So I'm not really going to make a comment one way or the other.
He's just too. I don't know. It's just, and all those things you hear about him being, a misogynist, and it's a lot of receipts that too, also especially as well.
Okay.
But
it's one of those things that, like, if I'm scrolling, he doesn't enter my timeline.
Right. Not me either.
You know what I mean? And if I'm watching TV, I'm not watching CNN, so it never really.
Likewise. I always tell everybody, I only watch CNN during the election season because they have the best coverage. That's it. But outside of that, in terms of actual normal news, I don't watch CNN. I don't at all. But he got demoted to the morning show, and then he's not getting along with his co-host and something too also. And
the CEO changed, right? And then
it changed like a year or two ago.
He wants to like, he's kind of tired of the old adage about like CNN being a liberal mouthpiece or something, and he wants to like make it more even-handed, basically pull it a little more to the right.
Basically, the way it used to be prior to I would say even before Obama.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, all news was pretty conservative in the 90s.
Yeah, I would say so.
When you really think of
Bernard Shaw and those guys.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, like, leftists and whatnot have never really had a major media mouthpiece, because people who are that far left tend not to be capitalists.
I think people don't understand.
Get buried by those who are.
I think casual people, they like to say the word leftist and liberal and have no clue what the fuck it means. Mm-hmm. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they call people leftists. They call people leftists, but then call them elite. No, they're not the same thing. You can't have both ways.
It's a hugely broad and varying group of people with a wide range of beliefs that it's not all one thing. It's not monolithic.
Right.
There's anarchists and communists and socialists. So am I. They are all different. They're similar but different.
Yeah.
Read a book, listen to a podcast, however you like to learn. The information is readily available.
Yeah. But the Don Lemon things I thought was surprising because of the lead up to this. It was surprising it happened literally within 2 hours of the Tucker Carlson firing. Tucker was a lot more shocking, obviously, because of given how.
I mean, was it though? Because
it's still shocking.
It's one of those. I think I don't really think it's all that shocking, because somebody had to go, and he was the one that was undoubtedly gonna do the best leaving. So he probably went, "Fuck it, I'll go."
Yeah, but I mean, you're losing that. He has the biggest show on cable news.
What? Yeah, but somebody has to go. There was no way.
This is true.
It's easy. Well, I think too, personally, it's like you can't can Laura Ingraham. It's like you can't, like any of them. I don't know. It seemed kind of obvious when it got settled that like somebody had to go, and Tucker Carlson is the most repugnant and the furthest thing from actual news. So
and probably easiest cost cutting too.
It's a PR layup. You know what I mean? Broadly.
I think what you're seeing too also in cable news, and you saw with ESPN some degree, years ago, they're cutting down on the personalities. At least they're starting to cut on the personalities
Well,
now and make it
haven't
more
there
about the
been
news.
lawsuits in federal court and shit where they have had to acknowledge that certain shows like Tucker Carlson's are entertainment and not news, despite being
Lawsuits.
on
The
these Fox News.
entire Fox News brand is an entertainment thing. It's judgment in writing. They're not a
Okay.
news organization.
No, I can't recall the details. I know
Right.
know that was
Yeah.
I know that was the gist. So okay, so there was.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
was
God,
like
yeah.
a federal
Years
ruling.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Years
like
ago.
it was like 2013 or 14, something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah. They are
Yeah.
a entertainment organization.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
But I mean that doesn't mean anything unless you care about
But again, the average listener to Fox News
they're never
don't
gonna
give a
hear that
shit.
stuff.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Feed the beast. Feed me what I want to hear. That's why I don't watch.
People don't choose the news they want. They choose the facts they want.
Yeah, that's the problem. But my thing on Don Lemon, I am not a fan. Can't stand the guy. Good riddance.
Okay.
Honestly, I was reading about that on social media. I just think he's very divisive. Even if he look, he's not Tucker Carlson bad. Let's say that Tucker Carlson literally
who is
did things that exactly.
I mean,
but
Alex Jones, Andrew Tate. I mean that's
exactly. But Don Lemon to me.
That's the power ranking he's on.
Yeah, but Don Lemon to me was just annoying as shit, and he ended up being a really bad mouthpiece for us for the left. Not only the leftist, but I'm saying for people that's on at some point, like he was just too divisive and nah.
No, he's an outright threat. I mean, he literally like on a regular basis, including he does a lot of stuff that's just nonsense. Fear mongering, which is laughable,
right.
And makes great fodder for shows like John Oliver and
right.
But he also perpetuates incredibly dangerous ideology and platforms really dangerous people who exact white supremacist violence against trans people, against black and brown people.
Tucker Carlson, Tucker, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've literally been there at the result of him doing it.
Yeah.
No.
It's no comparison, of course.
I know you know all of
right.
It, but it's to make an emphatic point that no, this guy has done really dangerous shit that has torn at the fabric of representative democracy in this country, and has markedly set us back because it is the #1 show in America, and he's not only is he spoon feeding nonsense that is gimme what I want to hear. But there's also really, really dangerous, white supremacist, transphobic, misogynist crap that he platforms, and really dangerous people that he platforms. And he doesn't seem to get held accountable for it. And that has to be acknowledged as well, because, I mean, he is bad for democracy.